小时候我都幻想我是大雄，可以有个无所不能的哆啦 A 梦。尤其是那个百宝袋啊，肚子饿了，汉堡、牛排还是巧克力，哇，只要有了哆啦 A 梦就可以了。现在到了21世纪，想吃什么东西，想做什么造型，只要有一台3D 食物列印机就可以上菜喽。
在荷兰有一家生产3D 食物列印机的公司，他们利用3D 列印机结合厨师的创意，研发精致到目不暇给的美食。今天跟3D 列印公司的负责人 Nina 约在科学园区内的高级餐厅。不过在享用美食前，先参观一下他们的厨房吧。
Yeah, so welcome to the kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah. Looks like a normal kitchen.
Yeah, it looks like a normal kitchen, but I saw there is 2 3D food printing.
Yeah, we're already starting some printing up front. And yeah, as you can see, it's a normal kitchen, and the machines are just on the working bench.
Wow. So what is it printing right now?
It's printing butter as an appetizer, which we'll place on the table with a little bread around. And it will take around 5 to 10 minutes to print this.
Only 5 to 10 minutes?
Yes.
That's very fast.
Really fast.
Wow.
And because it's butter, many people can eat from it. Yeah, what the printer actually does, it's building up layers.
Yeah,
so you see the printer making all the shape. And with building up the layers, it goes up and up and up to eventually a whole design.
Is there any materials that I can use to 3D food printing?
Yeah, so we can print over 50 different ingredients.
Wow.
So dairy products like butter, but also yogurt. But we can also print vegetables like avocado.
Vegetables?
Yeah, vegetables. And then we print almost everything as long as it has like a paste-like or a puree-like material. We can also print liquid chocolates, meringue, and even meat is possible.
So can the food printer heat up food or cook food?
The only thing we can do is warm up the plate. We can warm it up to around 80 degrees.
80 degrees?
Yeah. And that we do mostly for meat printing. So the first layers are being printed food safe. And afterwards we can easily take it off and put it in a frying pan or in the oven to make a real dish out of it.
这款3D 食物列印机是使用 FDM 的技术，透过喷嘴挤出食物原料，再凝固成型。值得一提的是，这个喷嘴的直径最小可以到 1.2 毫米，十分细致。接着将设计好的食物样式从电脑传到列印机，按下按钮就开始列印到盘子上咯。
So what is the fun part of designing these recipes?
Well, there's 2 things we need to design. So we need to design the ingredients, so to say, to create ingredients, the recipes, and we need to design the design itself. I think both are very challenging in a fun way. Many chefs really love to make different recipes within the cartridge, either really high-end or as our supplier Verstegen does, they use ready-to-go purees, and they make it on a really big scale, like industrial scale. And the designing, of course, is a lot of fun as well. I don't know if you know, like Michelin star chefs are always creating a whole plate. They have a picture in mind that they want to put and bring alive to the plate. And we use computers for that, and that's of course something completely new. Because normally they do it by hand or by mold.
Nina 说，他们在2018年会与主厨合作，所以荷兰很快的就会出现第一家3D 列印食物餐厅。今天我超幸运的，可以提前试吃到这些精致的料理。现在我已经准备好体验视觉与味觉的美妙冲击咯。
哇！ That's amazing. First of all, it looks so delicate.
Yeah.
And you can't imagine how to make it by hand.
No.
Yeah, and it looked like a piece of art.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's actually also the meaning of 3D food printing currently. It's really shapes that are not possible to do by hand or by mold. And it really has to look like art. Because you can imagine if you go to a fancy restaurant, you want to have something that really looks awesome as well. So yeah, therefore we made little art pieces. Yeah.
I'm going to break this art.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Ooh. It's kind of soft.
Yes, it's still soft. And you scrape all the flavors together. I think that will be nice.
Okay. cream cheese is soft, but the Dutch onion gives it crispy texture.
Yeah.
So it tastes very great.
Okay, so then we can go, I think, to the next one. Butter and the bread.
Actually, it tastes the same with the butter you get.
Yeah, we don't use any other products, just fresh butter. We don't use any additives or unnatural ingredients. So actually what you put into the 3D printer, it will also come out. We'll go for hummus. So
Hummus.
This is from chickpeas.
Wow.
And it's created in a structure that really goes into a 3D shape. So as you can see from the sides, it's really low, and then it goes up in the middle.
It tastes really good.
Yeah. And the fun thing is now we've printed this in hummus, but we could also print this shape in avocado or in the fruit puree or in the cream cheese, so everything is possible.
看着这些目不暇给的美食，颠覆了我对荷兰食物的看法。荷兰传统的饮食文化都较为简单，不知道荷兰人是怎么看这些创新的食物呢？
But some people sometimes are scared of it and they think, oh, it comes from a machine and, well, will it taste good? And how am I sure that you didn't put extra ingredients in there that I don't know? And people also want traceable food. But most of the people, especially if you now see how much attention the restaurant gained from just telling that it's going to open in September, I think they really are open for eating 3D printed food.
So tell me, where's the next step?
What we see for the future is a few things, a few applications. First of all, as I told you, the one with swallowing problems, so for people in healthcare that are not able to chew or to swallow. But we need bigger machines for that, because you can imagine if you have a house full of elderly people, you all have to feed them, you need more production. So this is one. The second one is customized production of food on industrial scale. So you still have special small dishes you can easily change within ingredients, but you can make smaller production for a customer, but still with a large machine. And we're also looking into ways how 3D food printing can help prevent food waste. So, for example, in the Netherlands, we throw away 41 kilograms of food every year per person.
Wow.
That's a lot of food.
That's a lot.
It's really a lot of food. And we're trying to investigate how can we use this food waste to put it into a 3D printer, create a whole new dish out of it, and keep that food safe as well. So it will also contribute to food waste challenges in the world.
除了降低浪费之外，使用3D 食物列印机也大幅缩减从原料到成品的环节，避免食物从加工到包装过程中产生不利的影响。Nina 的公司之所以可以进驻到科学园区，都是因为荷兰对新创公司的支持，并提供资金以及空间。到底他们的创业基地在哪里呢？
We're now at Hyperpixel Plaza, our startup building.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's talk about ByFlow.
Yeah.
So why you started?
Well, it's actually a family business. So my brother and my father a couple of years ago developed a 3D food printer or 3D printer, and they could participate in Startup Bootcamp, which is a business accelerator for startups. And they were looking for extra help. So I joined the company. So we were, my dad, my brother and I, starting this company. And we started because we saw potential in 3D printing because the market was rapidly growing. And we were lucky that we could jump into the niche market, which was 3D food printing. And that's how we ended up here.
他们在2015年创立的这个梦想园地，大家一起在这个办公室里进行软体、硬体的开发、行销、销售等工作。因为每一个分子的努力，第一代的3D 列印机就诞生了。不过，我眼前的竟然是一纸行李箱。
It's a little bit James Bond kind of look and feel suitcase, but when you open it, there's a 3D printer in there. And the idea was to already have it in a way that you can just flip the system up. I will show you. You attach the print head like this, then you put the frame up like this, and then you have the printer. and it can run. But it's really, everything you see is 3D printed parts as well.
So-
Lots of cables inside.
So the printer just in the suitcase.
Yeah.
You can carry on to everywhere you want to go.
Exactly.
Wow.
原来因为妮娜的哥哥喜欢到处旅行，所以当初才会发想将列印机装在行李箱内，可以到处带着走，真的是很有创意。经过几年的研发，现在已经到了第3代，外形也似乎有了些不同。
So this is the third
Whoa.
printer. It already looks more
Yeah.
design. It's
More
white.
simplified.
Exactly, more
Yeah.
elegant. Well, it really looks like a printer. You can just flip the system and start printing. So this was the third. But this printer, it took us hours and hours, almost days to make one printer, to assemble one. So this was not production-wise a good printer. So we had to come up with a fourth printer, and that's actually this one. And this is now the printer that we have also on the market. It only takes 3 hours to assemble it.
Wow, that's
So
fast.
it's a really fast production line. And now we have a printer. You just open. Everything works with a display. The cable is inside, so it's a really on-the-go printer.
Wow.
And it looks very sophisticated
And elegant.
and elegant.
Yeah.
所有创新的发明都源自于人类的需求，观察生活上的小细节，便能不断的有新目标、新的挑战。
So indeed, we are also measuring how much food comes out of a printer. So with this DNA passport or with knowing how much grams of certain food you need, you could also measure within a 3D printer. This is just a matter of adjusting the software. These are also developments that we are working on. We're trying to see like where is this future of measurement also going to. It will be a big challenge.
在全世界人工越来越昂贵的情形下，机器的使用确实可以取代人工不足的地方。除了荷兰，远在大陆的昆山市也有公司推出了3D 食物列印机。哇，不知道会有什么惊喜等着我呢？
原本一片单纯的巧克力，到了昆山竟然变得这么的有造型，是一个小屋哎。3D 列印机除了可以印制精致的外表之外，也可以针对不同族群做调整，像是想要减肥的啦，或者是糖尿病患者，都可以选择使用少糖或者是无糖的原料来制作。看着这么可爱的小屋，我都不知道该哪里下手了啦。Jenny， 你是不是少了什么呀？
对呀，我在找这个门，原来在你这里。
哈哈哈，它太可爱了，我一定要多看几眼。这真的是太美丽了耶！
对，这个是我们
好惊人哦。
3D 打印机打印出来的一个关于苏州园林的一个巧克力的模型，原材料就是巧克力豆直接加热打印出来的，所以我们这个里面是可以直接食用的。
哦，可以直接吃的。
对，
哇塞！哎，那当初为什么就是想要用，就是用这个苏州的庭园呢？
因为我们是昆山，我们属于苏州，所以有一句话是上有天堂，下有苏杭，所以我们苏州对于园林这一块的话，是我们比较有特色的这个建筑，所以说我们就打印了一套具有我们当地特色的这个建筑的话，可能对于消费者来说的话，可能更有吸引力这样。
哦，对，那所以如果提到说客制化，就比如说，好，比如说我今天是消费者，那我想要定制我的巧克力，这样子现在可以做得到吗？
现在可以、啊，
在这边
可以的，
真的吗？
真的可以的。
3D 列印机的好处就是可以客制化的设计。对于我这个充满音乐细胞的人来说，音符是个不错的代表性。我就请设计工程师胡工来教我制作。
为什么他会外面要先绕一圈呢？
我必须要保证它打印的比较完美。那刚开始它会有一段是没有出料的，我要先打一圈出来以后，让它行走的比较正常了，再可以打主要的。
哦，原来是这样。
对，然后最后再把它保存到我的那个内双卡里，就在这里。
哦，对，因为你们是用这个在
把它
转档案的。
对，
所以这样就可以去打印机上打印了。
对。
哇，好兴奋哦！
然后这就是我们那个3D 打印巧克力机器。这是我们的主屏幕，它上面能显示出你打印的时间， 然后高度啊、温度都可以显示出来。这是专门控制我们这个加热喷头的温度。
哦，所以这是喷头的温度。
对，这是我们巧克力机这上面是粉状的，到下面是开始加热，这个是单独控制它加热的系统的。
所以你刚才提到说，这个巧克力其实它上面是粉，然后下面直接加热之后就变成这样子，
半溶
可以半溶。所以因为我以往的认知就会觉得说，哎，好像这个填充物好像要是泥或者是要加水什么的，然后再挤。
巧克力它在常温下它是固态的，你如果说要在加料之前它是泥状的话，你要保持整个过程中都是要处于加热状态，那这个整个机器就很烦。那我们会因为我们这个要做的最简单最好，然后就把就是固态的放进去，然后变成让它自己加热、自己固化成型，比较简单一点。
我还发现另外一件事情，就是之前看到的好像都是上面的这个喷头在动，那这台机器好像反而是下面的这个盘子在动。
我想让它打印的时间更长，而且不需要人去管理，就不要担心料不够。那我需要给它充足的材料在里面，那这样子我的储料的空间就比较大，相对的重量也增大了。如果我把喷头这一块就是前后左右动的话，那它会很吃力，所以我只有平台它是空的，我可以让平台前后左右动，喷头只是上下移动一下就行。
就是与其让这个装很多东西的动来动去，不如让这个空空的盘子动还比较轻松。
是的。
所以也是针对3D 食物猎鹰而做的设计嘛？
对。
所以你们在准备这个原料的时候，你们是直接就是现成的粉倒下去吗？还是
这个材料我们不会做，只能在市场买。要买了，它一个条件就是这豆子没有粉，然后我们要磨成粉，然后倒进去。它进料口比较小，豆的话它进不去，只有粉才可以，或小一点就可以了。
经过30分钟左右的时间，我的音符巧克力印好咯，口感就是你我熟悉的巧克力味道，但因为刚印出来，所以巧克力还是半凝固的状态。如果能印出来就是固体了，口感应该会更好些吧。
我刚才吃的时候呢，它就是有一点还在半融化的状态。那我在想啊，是不是未来有可能第3代之后，就是可能这个刚做好的巧克力它出来就会是冷却的，然后就像是外面的巧克力一样。
我刚刚说了一个很大的问题，就缺点，这个机器就是它就是在30度以后它就不能正常工作了。那我这台机器，我有在第3代、第4代我有考虑过，就是在里面加个制冷装置，就是在它能改变它不管外面的环境温度是多少，我机器里面的整体的环境温度是在保持在24度、22度啊都可以，就能控制它的机器里面的环境温度。这样子的话，它制冷温度，不但可以就是控制它环境温度，就包括你打印出来的材料呢更快的固化。这样的话也会增加它的那个口感。就你说的，刚刚拿出来会有点软，但是我如果说有个制冷装置，它会固化的比较快一点，那就比较脆了。我也想过给它做一些像投币式的机器一样，就在各个场所都能有这种3D 打印巧克力啊，说投个币就能不但能看到它在里面在打印，也可以到最后能得到你想要的东西。
这个 idea 也很不错，或许哪一天我们就能在百货公司就会有自动的3D 列印巧克力贩卖机。关于3D 食物列印机，无论是荷兰或是昆山，都看到了不错的效果。反观台湾呢，是不是也有研发3D 食物的列印机呢？
在外走了一圈，看到各式各样的印表机。不过在台湾3D 列印机的发展状况又是如何呢？在我背后的这家公司啊，有我想要找到的答案。走了。楼下，假的水饺，假的还是生的，烤鸡也是假的，生鱼片 啊，都是假的啊 ，Gary 哥啊，你有没有食物猎鹰机啊？我好饿啊！
说到食物猎鹰机啊，我们三伟之前还真的执行过一个专案。
真的、在哪里？
很抱歉，这个专案呢，后来虽然说卖的还不错，但是后来我们还是停掉了这个专案。
啊？为什么啊？
其实这是一个很好玩的概念。好，以技术上来讲，我们完全有这样的技术，我们有各式各样不同的以塑胶为主的这种3D 猎鹰机，但是事实上把塑胶改成食材，好，再加上某些程度的一些机构上的改变，好，控制上的改变，我们就可以把食物取代塑胶，变成硬食材，技术上是存在的。那食物3D 列印这样子的概念呢，也是一样，跟我们在做其他的3D 列印技术是一样，是数位制造的概念。所以，当我可以把食物的形状数位化之后，就可以做到数位制造，然后就可以在形状跟各种组合上面得到不同的变化，然后去满足不同的需求。好，就比如说面糊，那面糊它可以去印成饼干，或者是披萨的披萨 base，然后我们也可以印类似像巧克力、果酱。只要是某种程度上流质的食材，都可以拿来做列印。当然，不同的食材特性，它可以印出不同的效果，那就可以达到一些客制化形状的一些目的。
可是刚刚听起来感觉还蛮美味的啊，为什么就是会到最后面临到的是什么样的状况？
比如说食材的通路，啊，这个可能不是我们能够轻易取得的，因为到底我们不是在食品产业里面，啊，所以就是这种特殊的食材，好，特殊调配的配方跟食材，我们不太可能在一般的食品通路，比如说超商、超市这种通路去上架，因为我们的经济规模不够。那所以这种鸡生蛋蛋生鸡的结果，导致这样子的产品在成熟期到来以前是没有办法走进家庭的。那在商业应用领域来讲，其实它的局限跟它的经济规模又相当的不足以让我们投入第二代的研发，所以目前这个 project 就是仅止于第一代，第二代仍待看市场的应用跟风向来决定说我们是不是要投入第二代。
3D 食物列印机固然新奇，但是对于特色小吃林立、便利超商满布的台湾来说，3D 食物列印机确实没有够大的市场需求。
在荷兰，我们看到有公司用不同的食材创造出一道道精美的餐点。我们也在昆山看到了用巧克力印制出来的苏州庭院。我发现3D 列印可以带领饮食文化结合科技感。或许3D 列印食物吃的不是口感，而是在一日三餐的重复变化中找到更多的可能性。然而，台湾人对美食的需求是色香味俱全，同时又要便宜而且快速。所以我想，手做的温度应该暂时还是机器比不上的吧。